Could you please introduce yourself and say your name, your current position, as well as your company?
I'm François Ravenelle. I'm a CEO and founder of Inversago Pharma, Montreal-based pharma company.
What lab were you in when you were at McGill?
Well, I was actually in Professor Marchessault's lab in the chemistry department. I was working mostly on starch and different varieties of starch where there's high amylose content and how they self-assemble to form gels, which could be used to slow delivery of drugs, so to make tablets, right? So it was kind of a functional excipient idea, but also working on anything that relate to natural polymers like polyhydroxybutyrate.
Did you participate in any opportunities outside of research while you were doing your grad studies? And how much did those opportunities help you in your current job right now?
Right from the get-go, one of the projects I was working on, the starch project, was actually in collaboration, or was going to be in a collaboration with a pharma company, namely LaboPharm, which eventually hired me as soon as I graduated. So that was also part of my intention when I joined. I really was targeting joining the industry rapidly.
For us current grad students right now that are maybe looking at industry jobs, how important do you think networking is for finding those jobs and not just sending out applications?
That's a killer question, right? When you're young, you don't have that much of a network, right? You kind of rely on your supervisor, but they don't have that network because their network is academia, and it's nothing wrong with that, right? But whatever they've got, you should leverage as much as you can if it fits with what your ambitions and the direction you want to take. Definitely, networking is great. I would say send your CV, be present, and try to, be everywhere as much as you can to gain that presence.
Do you think there were a lot of transferable skills between grad studies in chemistry and maybe the work you're doing right now in an executive position?
So physical chemistry is at the basis of everything, right? It's everywhere. And drug development is all about, there's the big research on biology, but once you've found something, then you need to manufacture and produce and check stability and all that we call chemistry, manufacturing and controls, CMC. In drug development, CMC is half of your file when you file for a new drug application with the FDA, European agency. That CMC is all physical chemistry and organic chemistry. And whether people will tell you or not, it's only that. And so what I've learned in science has been what I've been surfing on for traveling from one job to another. And so that learning, everything you're learning that's complicated and governs life around you and the world we live in is going to be your tool. It's going to be your, not just the PhD or MSc letters, it's going to be your tool to be able to do your job. And the biggest thing, I think, and people miss that, I find often, is when you graduate with a PhD, is those last miles. This is what you need to reproduce in your jobs later on. You don't realize it. You find it's going to be big, that thesis redaction, putting everything together, writing those papers. That's the PhD. It's not the reaction. It's not the TM. It's putting all of this together and delivering something. I think that's true. That's the learning. Close the loop. Finish it. It's never going to be perfect, but finish. Otherwise, you'll never get out.
A similar question I have then, maybe for PhD students not in their fourth year, fifth year, but maybe just starting off in their first year and second year. What advice would you give them if they're kind of having trouble with their experiments or not knowing if this project is a right fit for them?
I'm thinking back of what Marchessault told me once. I was cleaning up one of my polymers I just prepared and synthesized. And in that filtrate, there was something really weird that was going on. And I called him up. I said, look at this and that. And he went he picked it up. He said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm cleaning up and he took off the Buckner and said, this is your polymer? I said, yeah, but this is a filtrate. He just went, focus. If you're going to explore your filtrate, you'll never get out of here. So focus. Just don't. It's easy. Chemistry is everywhere. Even the degradants are interesting. But I think you just have to, again, close the deal. Your PhD should not be a never-ending story. Make sure you're on the path.
Thanks a lot for answering these questions, and we'll see you at the Q&A panel.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.